All right, so we've looked at the short-run effect on the organic farming market of an increase in taste. What we want to do now is to see what the long-run effect is. All right, so how we can see that is to kind of go to the very end where we've left off. We said profit has gone up. Okay, so remember at first, profit was 0. Now that it's gone up, that means profit is positive. So what is that going to mean then? Profit is positive. Firms are going to do what? Firms are going to be entering the market, right? We said free entry and exit. It's going to be easy for firms to come in. So if there is a profit opportunity, they're going to come in. And so what does that mean for our market? Well, remember, if the number of firms grows, which curve is affected? It's supply. And which way is it going to shift? The supply is going to shift to the right. Okay. All right. So the supply shifts to the right. And so one of the things that we can note here in terms of the quantity of the market, we're now at new supply and new demand cross each other, Q sub 3. Now what about in terms of the new price? That's actually what the price was initially. Okay, the price has actually returned back to P sub 1. Okay, so we have 3. We can also say here, MR sub 1 is equal to MR sub 3. And so since the price and the margin revenue are now back to where they were initially, you can also say the quantity of the firm is back to where it was initially as well. Okay, so the question is what happens in the long run? Now note how this question was asked in terms of your practice problem. It's saying relative to the initial. So before this increase in tastes even takes place. Right? And so what we can say is in terms of the price is unchanged. Okay, it's actually gone back to where it was before. Now what about the quantity of the market? Quantity of the market we see, okay, well in this case it's actually continued to go up. So it's actually Q sub 1 to Q sub 3, we say it's increased. Okay, but what about the quantity of the firm? Well, we see this is actually again returned back to where it was, and so we say that that is unchanged. Now what about in terms of profit? Profit, we would say, is also unchanged. Now why is profit unchanged? Why is it that profit actually goes back to 0? Again, it goes back to that characteristic, okay, that free entry and exit. So why is it that the supply has to shift so much that we get back to this initial price? It's because if it doesn't, if it only shifted, for example, halfway, there'd still be a profit opportunity. And if there's still a profit opportunity, firms are still going to enter the market, and as a result, they're going to push the price down. So firms will keep coming in until that profit is to 0. Now, if the supply were to shift too much, then again, we get the opposite. We get profit is negative. And so what would happen in that case? Firms would leave. Okay, so it's only at this point where supply shifts by exactly this amount that we actually have our long run.